people don't understand the depth of my answer. So can I just explain the terrain a bit? And then you've touched on many things I will answer in sequence. Basically, most people have heard of the Internet of Things. Okay, so it's integrating, connecting everything wirelessly through sensors, through connections to the Internet of everything, which includes human beings. Okay, what's coming with that is called the Industrial Internet of Things, which is all manufacturing is going to be done through robotics and artificial intelligence. So now forget all your jobs. Everybody thinks they're going to have a job in the future. Not the future they're crafting for you. Okay, you're going to be replaced with bots. It's in conjunction with what's called the Internet of Behaviors. So as you're being monitored and everything you're doing and all the gadgetry on you, because now we have something what's called bossware. So bossware is technology that's around the body that's monitoring everything you're doing. It can monitor your heart rate, your emotional state, etc. We also have the Internet of Bio-Nano Things, which is technology in, around, and on the body, including clothing, which is what IARPA is working on, is getting this technology into your clothing. So we have all this information feeding what's called the Internet of Behaviors. So it's learning everything the employee does. Okay, every single thing you do is being fed into this Internet of Behaviors. Now, once that Internet Behaviors library is built, then robots can replace you. Okay, and robots are all as a service owned by the billionaires, and you own nothing, and you'll be happy and eat bugs, right? Because you're drugged up, you're in the metaverse. If you're lucky enough to be alive and you're being remotely controlled through the Internet of Nano Things, Bio-Nano Things, where your very physiology can be remotely controlled. So I'll briefly describe that, and we can go into it in more detail if you like, but I'm sure you're familiar with how it's gotten into the body, also in the air, also in the food. All of these metamaterials, this graphene oxide has been put all around us. We're consuming it. It's building inside our bodies, but not just us, in the water, in the dirt, in the plants, in the animals. And that's what they're doing in hyper speed. Now, to get all that done, they needed to have the 5G network in place, which, who put that out exactly? Who rolled out 5G? So 5G is part of this weapon system that works with the Internet of Bio-Nano Things, which controls even your genetics. It's in your cells, okay? It literally can get into your cells. It's very small, and it has different ways to energy harvest. There's like 8 different mechanisms it can harvest energy, because people say, well, how does it get energy? Well, your heat, infrared, light, which is why they have LEDs everywhere, because from your skin, it can charge up and start to do stuff. And when it charges up and starts to do stuff, it starts to build. And that's what it's doing in your body. This is why we have those issues with clotting and such. So once all this stuff starts to build in you, it starts to communicate in the terahertz frequency to all the gadgetry and the Internet of everything around you. So from your fridge, your cell phone, there's like 5 different protocols that could be used to hop this information over to the grid and to propagate this information. It basically forms what they call your digital nervous system. It's a fancy term for all of this tech being in your body. So all of that now, you're connected, your body, everything that's going on in your body, including these little nano routers gathering information and harvesting everything and building God knows what in you. I mean, Moderna even called it an operating system. Okay, so all the things I'm saying are open source intelligence, and in my presentation at Biomed, I'll provide all the links and the references for everything I'm saying. It's just a matter of not many people being able to put it all together. So once we feed all this information onto this grid, we're now looking at a digital system that can control us in our totality. So we have the Internet of Thoughts on top of that. So your thoughts are now fed into it. And they have what are called persuasive technologies, where if you're not thinking right, that can be corrected with the use of what they call your digital twin, but I can get into that later. It's like a mirror on the wall type of technology where your digital twin avatar straw man is always with you, your little AI you, which they use to model. So once you have this digital AI you that can be predicted and put in a sim, they can do stuff to it and see how you behave before they go live with it. So they have all this sim capability. So from there, we have basically what we call the Internet of Battlefield Things. So the Internet of Battlefield Things is everything on a kill grid. You understand? So all the tanks, all the armaments, all of that is being merged into the Internet of Battlefield Things. Yeah, so there's a link. Good. And basically, that is under the control of what we call, and I've put this out there and people are not catching on. What I'm giving you here is super, super, super important. It's called JADE-C2, Joint All Domain Command and Control. Now they're using what's called JADO, Joint All Domains Operations, and they're merging and getting rid of all of the silos of all of the weapon system, land, sea, air, space, cyberspace, neurospace, and they're putting it all under one console controlled by AI. This is Skynet. I do not understand. I fail to understand why this is open source and nobody is talking about this. Okay? It's not even just that. They have the OIE, information environment. So your entire social media, the ability to manipulate your mind and your persuasive technologies, that's all built into this platform. So they could literally demoralize people on what they call the neural warfare, the neural battle space. So this is a warfare mind before it even goes kinetic. And this is what Colonel Michael Aquino gave us as mind wars. It transformed the military. It's why information operations even exists, is because the transformation of the way we do warfare. Why fight a war kinetically when you can psych out and neurologically control your adversary? There are at least 14 scientific direct ways to be mind controlled. That's before we're even talking about the occult. I'm not even talking about the black magic type of stuff. 14 scientific ways for you to be mind fucked and mind controlled before the battle even starts. And now with everything you're plugged into, your cell phone, the 5G around you, your internet of everything around you, you're totally a manipulatable creature, just like Harari says. We are manipulable now. They can manipulate our cell behavior. They can manipulate our genetics. They can manipulate what we think. They can manipulate sexual arousal. They can manipulate our hormonal output. So this is a cataclysmic nightmare. And people accuse me of blackpilling. This is all real. And I'm sorry, but it requires our attention. And the big boys and girls have to step up and do the heavy lifting on this, because there's a lot of people that can't handle it. And they stick their head up their ass and they say that this isn't really happening. Or like Cliff High, who I love, that says AI is not a threat. Cliff has not done his homework. I have sent Cliff loads of stuff proving the things that he says are inaccurate. I've offered to interview with him. I've offered to debate him, and he keeps not answering me. So this information is out there. You just have to look it up, okay? And I will provide all of my presentations, and everybody can go and research all of this. Just search the words I'm saying, and you're going to see all this information come up. So they put all this on a single platform, JADE-C2. It's managed by the JAKE, Joint AI Command or something like that, or cooperation or something, okay? So the JAKE is where they put out all the policy, they develop all the strategy, they got all the talent together to put all this stuff together, okay, in the deployment. And then that's what's happening. This is Skynet, and it's being managed and openly admitted. And then we have councils like, I think it's the NSAIC, I think it's what it's called, but it's the National Security Commission on AI. And they come out and they release papers and they say that it's not in America's best interest to have any kind of regulation or monitoring of AI. Isn't that nice? Yeah, no, it's not in anybody's best interest because these billionaire psychopaths have control of it. Whoa. So why would they ever want to have this, regulated or controlled? So they say this in their own words. So they're actually saying that we shouldn't regulate AI because they're creating this whole digital psychotic nanospace of warfare and Skynet. So I'm like, okay, fine. And what else? So that's I guess the first level. The next level is, okay, well, where's all this going? Well, where all this is going is a total control grid, because you've seen the smart cities where now everything is going to be weaponized. You can't use your car. Your car is going to have a kill switch in it. It's going to be totally digital. Everything on the car is controllable. And I've had my car hacked before, and it ain't no fun. So unless you have a manual transmission to pop it into neutral, they can kill you instantaneously. You saw the CEO of the company that was in charge of the shipping company that hit the bridge there a few weeks ago. 2 weeks before that, she died by her Tesla going backwards into a pond. Really? Was it just a dumb Asian girl that doesn't know the difference between reverse and drive, or was she assassinated? She was assassinated for some reason I don't know, but that's a hack on a car, and they could reverse you into a pond whenever they want, or off a bridge, or anything like that. So I don't know why anybody would want anything that's connected to the internet in their vehicle. You might as well just put a gun to your head and have that internet connected as well, because that's what it is. But in truth, we all have that to our head, because that's what 5G did, is it laid that foundation, that highway for all of this technology to be a gun to our head at any point. We can be triangulated, we can be terminated, we can have heart attacks, whatever it is. We're all on the kill grid now. So we've funded, our taxpayer dollars have funded the most deadly weapon system ever known to human civilization, and we've been watching it happen and sitting back and kicking back and saying, trust the plan. Well, I'm sorry. All I've seen, and what I can say, is that I've seen good things happen, like kids coming out of the White House. I don't know what was happening in that, but I've also seen the white hats say that they're totally pro digital ID, that the solution to our borders being stripped and us being invaded by a bunch of people that want to destroy our nation, that now the solution is digital ID. So problem, reaction, solution. And let's not forget who set up the 5G, who did Operation Warp Speed, who signed the UAE Peace Coin. If you've never seen the UAE Peace Coin, right on there, it explains what's happening. It's the biodigital convergence, and it involves Saturn in some way, shape, or form. I'm not sure. But anyway, so that's why I'm not a trust the plan guy, because, you know, it's like we go to one side and we're like, we get Trump and he says a lot of good things I like, but then he rolls out all these things which are exactly in line with the rollout of this digital control grid. He didn't do anything to stop this. He didn't write an executive order to say we need to control AI. He didn't do any of that.
Right.
But now Biden rolls out Executive Order 14110, and it is deploying AI in government. So AI in sentencing for criminals, and we're all criminals now, AI in government, in taxes, in everything, okay? And they even say that the biodigital economy, and including in agriculture, in the soil, in the water, in the oceans, these lunatics want to put metamaterials and graphene oxide in every living thing. Do you understand what that means, people? That means the total elimination of our genetics, of everything beautiful on this planet. And people aren't getting it. They think it's about being right or wrong or picking a side. This is about our entire species and all the species that we've been responsible for and are supposed to be protecting, like our lands, our waters, our animals, our plants. And we're doing a shit fucking job. And I get no traction. Why are people not listening when everything I'm telling you is written and codified on open source intelligence? You know?